are in spot in this game, you ride in absolutely normal elevator. Yep, that's it. The normal elevator, but now do the Harlem Shake. It's for all ages. There are 31 floors in the game currently. VIP server owners, if you own a VIP server, you are given an elevator controller which allows you to choose which floors you want next for the server. 1 blocks you for the best art direction in 2015. Now, this game is pretty popular, very popular, almost getting a billion visits. It's been a thing, viral, been also popular. YouTubers posted on it a few years back actually, not gonna say few, but years back, but not that long, but I could tell you 7 years. So again, as sadly what this game sadly has is that not a lot of people make content on it because it's copyright, just copyrighted music and all that. So what I'm about to do here is just practically have the best amount of time I have. So I've visited you have 148 floors for 5 visits. Now this is sadly due to time passing by, me getting passionate in things, and certainly changing courses of events that occurred only when I began to change myself a little bit. So we're gonna go through these floors, survive as much as I can, experiment as much as we can. Here's the old normal elevator and the Gear 7 one. So we could either go here or go in this one. We're gonna go through updates and so everything, so story and all that. But here, sadly, we won't be doing this one because there might be issues with that one. Could be a little weird. As well, it's not that. Again, the game is still, it's not really that big anyways at the point that it is at now. But it's kind of sad that it is that low. It will never be any bigger unless somebody else deals with it. Yeah, if only this music wasn't copyrighted, I could only play about that many seconds and I could be screwed. See, Spider Dad's Undertale cover is copyrighted. You are not gonna have YouTube being very nice with you when it happens. So we're gonna go over here and we're gonna discuss Scream. So, but these guys went in. Alright, let's see. Riles, Alea, and Vitality. Let's see how well they do against the Cheddar. Surviving. Still okay. Let's see, who is getting ahead of each other? Certainly Vitality. But that's only if they continue. Players are moving the squares, changing color lights, always moving with the quickest movements they can. Let's see, I think if I'm right, Vitality won this one. Maybe. I think. Yeah, I think it was them. See, Archbox Ebony Rhapsody. I am not gonna be able to play that on video. So here's Big Cheese. Big Cheese usually pops in when the elevator ends at a specific point where this character comes in. Usually they would do an attack move right before they enter the elevator. This is what causes that's to happen in the game as well. There are other ways where you can still die. You can go through. Some of them will have an obby, a speed course, a few maps you can move around in. Sometimes jump scares, or sometimes a map where you're just running around and try to survive a NPC. Sometimes the NPC will, well, most of the time, no NPC would just come in the elevator. But yeah, I think if I remember back then, NPCs that do come in are just NPCs that would just send out bot command messages that would, you know, let them speak. Big Cheese here, for example, does exactly that. I had to keep speaking just because I know that with the video with possible copyright in this game, I had to mute. With possibly that happening, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to have just music playing in the background with my voice on top. And did make sure to activate my mic this time so that you guys can hear my voice, because the last videos it was silent, but that was only because my voice wasn't even recorded, and sadly, ridiculous OBS as it is, forgot to connect to my blue snowball microphone that I have. Not that expensive, but very good. Forgot to connect. I could not record my own voice when it came out of the video, and I looked at it, almost gave up posting, but that didn't stop me. Everything I make has to be posted. Certain things, not my life, just certain things. Okay, that effect played. Last played, no really guys. Of course, I can't play this because copyrighted, and I'm just gonna stay here because I feel like Vitality has this reason to stay in here as well at the same time. Vitality screen, Resolita, again, okay, that really is. Came back, 2 big cheeses. We're back in round Riles. Vitality is still standing still. I make a single bit of motion. Black rose in the mouth, of course, like always. Just name players, basically just naming themselves Scream. There's the meme, the cat meme, you know, doing the singing the, I think Steve's in the kitty cat dance song, but I can't play it because that's on very copyrighted because the creator decided to copyright the audio anyways, as well as Roblox now being able to copyright some songs, even though they don't want to be copyrighted, they could get copyrighted. Specifically songs played and distributed on the Roblox platform. Just those, a lot of those, like a lot of them, like hundreds of thousands actually. Very bad audios, short audios, unnecessary audios, long audios, and then weird audios, podcast audios, random audios that come from other sources that are from third parties. There's about 2 teachers. I had no idea what we could do with these, but I think we could use them as heavyweights just for basically any other stage that comes and pops up. Horror Shop Corpse Party Chapter 1 theme remix, can't play that because that's also copyrighted, even though it's a remix. It's also still copyrighted because even the creator copyrighted the remix of a song that was already copyrighted. So I'm gonna take a nap for having a display name as Scream, wearing this and saying this technically makes you a unique player. Alright, so we're about this. Take one deckling because that's a nice outfit, by the way. I like that outfit. Just that the thing about dresses is not my thing. I don't do dresses. So we're gonna go right here, open this. We'll then rip another one. We're taking up. Take one before chaos gets home. Wait, let me see. Going well. One nice one. This one. 4. One nice one for Projecttians. See you later. But okay, so the Scream is about to leave the server. That's what it is. Where is Alita? See you later. Those were friends. I could. That is amazing. See, I picked that up. Anybody could have picked it up. Well, if anybody even cared about this type of thing happening in Roblox games, most Roblox games, a lot of friends just keep themselves isolated. So wait, they might have been. And this saying my bad. Look, those are friends. Wait a second. Those were friends. Okay, that was a live. Two people playing together in a game. Of course they left. Probably because their friend left. They don't have to play the game anymore. They probably played it only because their friend was there. See, again, the nostalgia doesn't fully just come from the game. Could be from people you met, or if you were lone wolfer and you were speedrunning, grinding these coins and getting through rounds like nothing. I mean, you could have the thrill of winning and constantly, you know, winning it over and over and over that. But I know as it gets boring, becomes more manual, becomes more casual and all everything else. In a sense, now we have a new player with elf ears. 60 to 70% of players I keep finding in servers. Right now, pizza. Okay, I'm definitely not dying because of that. So we're gonna check my graphics quality is still practically fine. And now, when it's recording this footage, it shouldn't have to lower the frame rate. It only lowered the frame rate when my head was moving around, playing something in the background, which is this video game in OBS. That's the only reason she saw that. But just this, my voice, not even a face cam, and recording the audio here, it shouldn't stress too much. Snoop Dogg, Drop It Like It's Hot, copyright-free cover. Still doesn't mean I should play it though, because I'm too scared. Because then I'll have to go back to the YouTube, go open it up, see copyright, mute only the song, and keep my voice in. But that option is not always available. If your video practically has an audio playing out throughout the entire video, your entire video goes mute. That's not fun. And watching a mute video is not fun. And it's not cool. It's very boring. It's also very creepy, as well as not that entertaining. Because you can't hear anything. But no worries, for me, I got always something to talk about. Kanye West and Lil Pump. Yeah, I would definitely not play this in the background. That's gonna get me screwed over. And there's the two artists. I remember when the first day this song came out, because I have memories of kids constantly playing these type of songs in my hallways when I used to go to school. There are a lot of show-offs and all this. There's noobs. Interesting. In the Projecttian 2.0 body build, these kids wouldn't stop playing these trap rap songs around in the place, and from different artists that were beginning to boom the trap scene, and also the Billboard scene, getting recognition throughout the 2016, 17, 18, 19, and 20s when it all chilled down. It was practically just you have a lot of experience in the trap scene. A lot of there's not that many underground rappers, but certain ones like from SoundCloud, certain ones from other areas of the internet that you don't recognize, like MySpace and all that. Fun fact, MySpace was bought by an actual individual from Billboard before this happened. And yes, MySpace exists. If you don't know what MySpace is, fall off, go somewhere else. Alright, let's see. Latin industries. Not playing that. A little scared. That sounds like copyright music. Walk on Water, Charmer remix, Bass Hunter. Fun. Wait a second, that's very familiar. For Bass Hunter, don't remember fully. I'll keep it away. Allie. Or Emily, Olivia, what? Wait a second, I already know that. Wait, where's the males? Where are all the males? Wait a second. So it's only Void and Vitality. Darn it, bro! I wasn't able to click fast enough. Okay. There was actually something I wanted to win. I didn't click early enough or enough because I kind of stopped because I was like, wait, I realized this is the clicking competition. I was trying to read the text and I forgot to click. Don't cry, garden flowers. Cry, ball, suffer, seethe, L ratio, dip, fall, drop out. Okay, I think that's enough roast. Where's Lieutenant? Everybody here, where's the males? There's only Void and Vitality so far. Unless Vitality is actually a girl that's dressing up as a boy. Or the other. Or it's just girls, boys dressed up as girls. But they look way too aesthetically white. But I can't assume just because they're that way that they're not a boy. You don't know. I'm dressed this way. I look like I'm aesthetically dressed, but I'm actually a boy. Or am I? I could be lying. I could be using a voice changer. Or am I not using a voice changer? You actually, yeah, probably this audio wouldn't be recorded very well. Okay, I just died. No, I didn't die. Okay, so fine. Big cheese. Oh, we got a new one. Nightcore Final Countdown Remix. We can't play that. Song's copyrighted. Also, very old audio down in beginnings of most music. How do you say this in Roman rock? I gotta stop saying Now currently, the Beatles also ended up on the Billboard very recently again, even though it's been a while.
Right now, if you take one step up the elevator, we will literally laser you into a piece of ham and explode your oofing head. We are not here to mess around. We are here to catch a criminal. Now, has anyone seen
Snitch.
That's them. You are now under our custody. We will make sure you never see a loved one or feel loved ever again in your life.
Don't care.
Alright boys, let's head back to base.
Not to get stitches if I'm innocent. The one that goes to get the stitches is the person that's getting arrested, not me, buddy. So I was just SWAT doing it. See, why would I want to get myself in a worse situation where I become the literal... How do I say this? I keep forgetting these terms. I need to know these terms. If I remember, what was the term called? I'm not the suspect's advisor, not trying to make him get away with a crime, as well as that would probably get me in trouble, making an accomplice, make me an accomplice, me as an accomplice. That would get me screwed over. They say, you helped them out, you're getting arrested as well with the criminal. That's what will happen. Today's Sunday, chocolate rain. That meme is very old. And for anybody who was there during the Harlem Shake trend viral thing, when we get the two Don't Run Out the Last Laugh videos and all that, this is one dude on the internet that sung it. It was like the worst song ever. It was kind of a meme. People judged it for how they thought it was lyrically kind of funny, very distinguished, and very, how to say, it's kind of melancholic due to the story behind it. It was just a random day where the guy decided to go, I just want to go to the road. There was a planned thing though, but it came up really terribly. The guy sung it on his mic, and it again became a viral hit. Not as a good song, but really for the memes. Why? Because it sounds very wacky, it's funky, doesn't make any sense. Like you could say it's lyrically fine, but it's also, it doesn't make any sense. I think Drunken Brain also references to something else that you could tell me in the video, but I won't tell you. Only people that searched it out would understand. You can't say really the expression OG, because a lot of you could have been born anywhere else or seen the internet at different times and still be understanding me. Probably searched the meme, done more research than me on that meme than me. So never think just because you say only OGs will understand. Think just because you think it's only that you think only them. No, there could be people that research this for educational purposes, which I do myself. Saint Kitten, Want You Gun Portal 2 remake, copyrighted. Stop flinching. I gotta be focused because I actually wanted to beat this one before. No. Oh. I'm done here. I actually wanted to beat this one. It was a long time. Yeah, I won't be able to. I actually wanted to see what was at the end of this thing. Never got to see it when I was younger. Never when I was older. I just never tried hard enough. If I remember, I used to play this on mobile. This game I last time recorded and worked on this game was purely for recording purposes. Wanted to play it because just like the music kind of references and the maps. People, you could end up finding a very decent person to have a conversation with in this game usually, but that's not the reason to this recording anyways. William Big and Chunky. Yeah, that meme. For anybody who remembers where it also was referenced, it was also referenced in the bird video. There's a bird video, I think we popped in. It was also a meme. Where, practically, it's just the lyrics describe a human in a similarly of a manner, a shape. So you get something like big, chunky, something like that, and when you describe it that way, you get stuff like this. Could be used for anything. You could say Thanos, you could say noob, you could say robot, say Robloxian, colored green, say about Drake, talk about anything, even a blaster, because I'm sick and tired of having to re-watch some of these old references. Teddy Lloyd, me, Decor Mix. Fun fact, that actually makes me happy that I see this. First of all, you don't get this a lot. I'm actually about to search this just for reasons I remember. Decor Mix is also related to Tahoe and all this, but I won't just talk about that stuff randomly in the video. But you know what? I'll talk about it with the frog I want to hear. I said because I actually kind of I actually kind of stuttered. Like I actually kind of did a little fine there, trying to think of the thing. That's an entirely different community. Tahoe's one of those very hardcore bullet games, bullet dodging games, where you practically there is a boss, a character shooting out obstacles at you in either dots, circles, lines, beams, anything you can imagine an obstacle is. A terrible laser. You're the character. You can move the character either around with the cursor, or you can move the character around with the keyboard. In these goes many fools. How do I say this? They call it the bullet hell of games. Tohu. That's just there's people can tell me different ways to pronounce it. I'm just gonna say Tohu because if I remember, it's pronounced certain ways. Tohu. Again, that's what I think it was pronounced. I remember it was yeah, the bullet hell. The most popular game was the number 6. It is specifically the certain themes of specific characters like Sakia, there's Scarlet, there's a lot of characters. I could go on for a list, but I already did that videos back where I listed multiple artists in a single video. Don't try to copy what I did in the last video. You wouldn't be able to try to compete with me in how many hours I bring. Yeah, the title thing again, going back to it. There's a lot of fan art. There's a lot of fan art in that community. There's many games. Goes all the way up to 18 and 19. Titles are already past their 5th game. They passed their 10th game. Passed their 15th game. They're tell me this creator never sold themselves to the label. They never sold themselves to the label. So they're able to still uniquely build the game based off their own ideas. So they're not being incentivized to do anything else unoriginal or disgusting. You can clearly tell, sadly, some of the game could have been said I had to buy people around the place so that I have enough tracks to play the game, because I know as a creator, if you actually kept working on your own tracks for a video game, that would actually take years to finish, and the game would have never reached the number without the help of other individuals. But the creator still makes his own music. If any of you know who he's named, you would find out that every single time we hear a track from the game, if it was not made by the creator themselves, the song is not going to be that catchy. Could be catchy, but it could also not be catchy, and most of the time it's not. Fun fact, Zoom, this guy, whenever you land on a song made by himself, you would find it much more unique, more flavorful, much more in detail and rhythm. The percussion is again unique, as well as he did a lot of those time signature switches during out the 8, 10, 9, 11, and 13 games, as well as I could reference 19, but and then kind of very uneasy with the explanation about 19 though, so I won't reference 19 too much, or 19, because it kind of there's like beta and there's fan games. Game's been out for decades. It's a little risky trying to bring in anything else, because we're not going to get into 4chan's looms, and 4chan's looms are much more freedom based than people's opinions from YouTube. I tell you, it's not the best idea to go too deep into their community, because you'll find a lot of icebergs to jump around in. You'll have to drill some of those places and it will get damp and dark down there. But there are some beautiful things. There's music's covers, sometimes large artists themselves. Literally, some of them literally grew their communities and opportunities and money. Some of their efforts were because Tahoe helped them. The people got together, and let me tell you, billions. 4chan though did help with that, because ridiculous amount of hack attempts, viral shots, trick shots. If any of you know who Trip Shots the vocal producer is, then you can actually consider yourself OG, because not that many people knew about Trip Shots until later on, when we figured out Wawaka died off, and we had all this respect to Wawaka though. Won't say anything like I pray that he's okay. Not gonna be like that. Trust me that I have most honest responses, but I please tell you, whatever you do not engage on Tahoe and 4chan or 2chan. Those places are the worst you can talk about. They'll end, because you're gonna get a bunch of simps, weebs, and very unlikable people, but you will find some likable people. there's certain things that you can mention, some things you don't want to mention. It's okay though. A lot of people say you have no opinion. A lot of people say you should have an opinion. A lot of people have different opinions, and some of those opinions are just to subdue our opinions, to discreditable opinions, because we use less credible sources, like our emotions, to do this. But again, back to Tahoe. Tahoe thing occurs to me. By the way, if you guys want to know when I'm gonna stop recording, possibly until I get 70 coins, because it's ridiculously hard trying to get coins and trying to survive these stages. See, I have 7 more stages left until I get 70 coins. Alright. I'll do this. Costumes. I don't need costumes right now. Nobody needs this. I'll go to the shop. Jawbreaker. Can't spend anything though. Still not yet. There's I get back to Tahoe if you wanna know why it's so important, how the fellow they eat big and all that. Literally just trying to categorize everything and just saying art in the Tahoe community is very liable of me to do. I'm very liable for saying that. There is not just art. When you say art, you don't just say everybody draw the same thing in 2D form or 3D form. Very wrong. Very wrong. You can't describe it that easily. Here's the thing, there are certain creators out there that died off. Some of them stayed alive, some of them became producers, some of them literally did the entire polar opposite of what their job was initially, because some of them became artists, some of them went from doctors to an artist, or went from producers to a person who deals with funerals. I have no idea how that happened, but that happened. Then we got their names. We got user IDs, we had music, we had the entire thing about the Lizard Squad. We had Anonymous and all that, so Tahoe had something to do with it. Back then we used to get these fan designs where we tried to make the darkest versions of the characters and all that in mass. It did work, but some of the art got banned and destroyed because there was a specific right that happened on 4chan where sadly certain names and keywords got you screwed over. Some moderation there is a little liable, and we had these very terrible attempts of ruining people's life and all that. We had to get into the very deep levels of chat and all that. Chat, organization, privacy on the internet, and VPNs, because there's something to do with VPN wars that occur in Japan a lot, and we're not going to talk about those a lot because there's a lot of countries that don't accept VPNs. There's something to do with India and Japan that happened and occurred a few years back, if I remember. During the 4chan thing, when we got into the looms of the 4chan and the Tahoe thing, where did Tahoe get into this? It's merely the creators, because some creators used to get very rebellious and some of that. You wouldn't know too much of them anymore because a lot of people would certainly forget them about their time. Algorithm changes. People grow up. We don't have to care about things for that long. We don't have to. But it exists. So, if I do remember, I could reference the names, but I don't want to bring it up right now because that would be really an uneducated guess from me and an uneducated response from me because I don't have the information right now. Even you guys with 4chan, MySpace, and the websites, Newgrounds, especially Newgrounds, you wouldn't know what I mean. The gun games, the violence, the fights on the internet back then when you used to get the thing about Harley again. That games cause violence. There's specific arts that traumatize people, so I would tell you guys nothing was that smooth in the growth of Tahoe, as well as Roblox and other communities. We don't call them small communities, but we call them mega or super communities. It's a different concept. There's a lot of free speech, but sometimes a little bit of free speech gets into problems. We have this happening on the law a lot. Another thing that you would bring. Okay, there's a black hole. Here we go. Just not gonna talk. Just let the black hole suck us in. Carry down Jordan D. Hiver. Wait, that's what his name? Okay. If I remember. That's just the warp effect slowed down. That's an admin command. I think that makes everybody warp. Everybody sees it happening. I think it just goes to the point where it's calculated, where it just warps you out, and then it just pulls you back in when the effect has done. in-game pro has that function. Maybe it's something to do with that, because that looked like the war function. After enough experience of using my admin commands in other games where I'm able to purchase it for like full admin commands and be able to affect people, I remember that warp effect looks like that, but when you stop it on time, it does shrink and just looks like everything went back to normal. It's just an effect. It tricks you. You say, but wait, why did it not do it fast enough? Because I told you guys. I told you to slow down. Anyways, if you guys are, I don't take you off guys off guard. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to reach the 2K goal faster than that. We're going for the 5K goal. And faster than that, I didn't predict it, I didn't expect it, but would really help me a lot with making better quality videos. Mostly, we wouldn't want to stay too much on the gaming side. We could also go the art side and music side. Again, I'm very liable for simplifying everything way too much here. Simplifying way too much, because then there's not enough information. It looks less credible, making me look like an amateur. Again, that's why I don't want to talk too much about certain things about interviews, because there's a lot of stories that wrap around and those link together. Again, referencing too many things. But I'm not a rookie at this though. Let's see. Now, picked around from my areas, the side of the creation. I say I'm very native to these topics and how people deal with the internet. Now, if I do remember, I do have the same thing as well. I write stories as well. I'm a writer. I've made about hundreds of characters before during the span of the 10 years I've worked on Art 4. I've mastered my style. Would probably send images. If you guys even look at the past shorts, there's evidence this is what I made. That's not all of what I made though. Again, tell you if I find names. I think I should probably post a short about that though. Just flip the pages of names. It's not fully finished though, because I have to memorize them. It's a lot of names. Okay, names of what? Names of characters, places, cities, names, effects, theories, paradoxes, mixes, during details, dependent details, independent details, small atrocities, events, stories, abundant philosophical matter. There's also colors, tunes, hues, specific effects and styles of colors, music, movement, speech, and format. I've also made multiple languages, but it's kind of hard to do that now because I suck and I'm really impatient because I don't really care about these rules. I hate the pronunciation rules that languages have when they make their own. It's just most likely a code by this point. But luckily I did finish the Projecttian one in time. I think this will be one of my last games. Alright, bear with me. I'm gonna be silent. Just gonna do it. Wait. Did I do? Yep, I did better. 69 coins. Got 69 coins. That should be my 70 coins right now. And you can go find a story. I haven't finished detailing everything else. There's also knobs, technologies, and a little bit of the functions and details behind those functions or details, as well as the historical aspects that link and connect to other places that have either went adjourned or different areas. Sometimes could be really just the placement. Sometimes it's a little bit of parallelisms. Again, we get into the philosophy ideas and also the technologies ideas, descriptions of characters, areas, places, and everything else that I mentioned before, while managing the entire constructs of the how you say this, the cliffhangers, you know, throughout the plot. Because as well as plots, there's some things that are not plotted through, and some of them were affected throughout the time that I had the basic and sensitive mind that I have right now, that's able to perceive at least the amount of knowledge that I have required is the amount of stuff I basically made. Oh, that's just how it works. And basically the musics, the IDs, making sure I note this stuff down, as well as making sure that I have details that I can share with people en masse and everything else that I just mentioned earlier, but compressed, because I've also have compressed advanced information as well as that there's compressed other values that I need to include and all that, which when then I get into the entire verdict, because then there's also pleads and everything else, because when some of these because of how much I did tell you guys I did bring up, there's a lot of information I have to get that from. Sometimes I get information for myself, so you gotta be thinking very quickly and straightly. Careful though, when you do this, you probably end up wasting a lot of time in your life doing this, so I advise you, if you become a writer, have the mind to be able to write stuff. Always avoid writer's block. Make sure you're able to read very quickly, because when you write, it as well as that you're reading, to make this easier for you to understand, you're reading next style. That sometimes will determine how fast you write, how well you will write, and everything else. Because there's a difference between being able to always be able to write something, or being able to organize and write in perfect cursive the most curliest lines I've ever seen. I don't do that. I write as neat as I can, but I write the flow much more than people that write in cursive in perfect form. They've written more words in curvier words than I did to get the curly lines I get, but they have not written as much. How much have you wrote? About hundreds of pages, but it's not that many because I went back to recently doing it. I am working on an initial script of the M7 3007 type of thing happened in deal, because then I had to ID this. Wait a second, what is this? Oh yeah, never mind. I have to write that. Already the original storyline of the Mathemanium thing is already in works since years back, but actually been written down since a year back, I think, if I remember. Yeah, a year back. There will be some people introduced and all that. Again, getting into simple world view and world constructing, getting the characters introduced and all that good stuff. Anyways, that should be it. Thanks for watching. I'd reference anything else if any of you guys want to communicate with me through Discord more. I'll send a Discord link throughout the description and everything. If you have not listened to this entire video throughout in entirety, your impatience fell, got off my zone. I hope you get bullied. Just kidding. That'll get me cancelled for legal reasons. That's a joke. That's it. Or am I? That's it. Or am I? Or it.